Hi, welcome to yoga. I'm happy that you're here. And I want to take just this opportunity to remind you about the truth of yoga. And I was taught that when we think of yoga as like a bicycle wheel, and there are 8 spokes that come from the center, which is the yoga wheel. And only one of those spokes is physical. One of them is breath, and the other 6 are really how we show up in the world. And I want to remember that when we think about why do we come to a yoga mat? And for some of us, we're drawn to the physical aspects of it, and that's beautiful, that's wonderful, but don't lose sight of some of the other aspects. And the same holds true. I think the reason why I wanted to share that with you is in this very visual world that we live in, especially during this time when we're all spending more time on technology. It's really easy to get drawn into the idea that yoga is this physical beauty practice. It's really not. And I was taught to think of yoga as a bicycle wheel with 8 spokes. And one of those spokes is physical. One of them is breath. And the other 6 are principles and attitudes in which we show up in the world. And we unroll a mat and we get on this rectangle and we put our bodies into certain shapes to observe those principles and attitudes while we're in something challenging. And so while I tend to teach a very gentle yoga class, I hope that it's challenging enough to where you can look at some of the behaviors and thoughts and patterns that we have in practice so that we can apply them to life. So go ahead and with that, find yourself on a mat. And as I always do, I'm going to turn my camera off and I want you just to be guided by my words and settle in. So go ahead and start on your back. Make sure that you're in a quiet space, undisturbed as best you can. I know practicing at home can be a challenge and something that is hard for people. And I totally get that. I totally get that. I find in my own life, it's very hard to carve out the time to do this and to be diligent in doing it. All right. So I wanted to share with you, I hope that you have an opportunity to listen to the other video in this series called The Invitation. And I wanted to share that with you because it has been something that I go back to time and time again in my personal life as well as in my teaching. And it has been something that has become my anchor for my own life. And so when we start this week, I want to talk about the longing, that deep hunger that we all have inside of us for something. Maybe it's something we can't put our finger on. Maybe we know what that hunger is. But the longing, do you dare to dream of meeting your heart's longing? Can you even go there? Can you dare to dream of meeting your heart's longing? Can you speak the unspeakable and state from your heart what it is that you want, what it is that you need, what do you desire? And can you finish this statement? It doesn't interest me to have. What I really want is, for me, it doesn't interest me at all to have a large group of friends. What I really need is one that understands me. It doesn't interest me to have a huge house. What I really want is a home full of love. It doesn't interest me to be rich and famous. What I want to know is that I made a difference. And as we explore this on the mat today, you'll be asked to look at your thoughts, your avoidances, your comparisons, your truth. And can each of us meet our heart's longing? Can we even dare to dream? Start to pay attention to your breath. Let your eyes drift closed. Be as comfortable as you can be laying on your back. And as you start to just pay attention to one thing, which is your breath, notice the thoughts dissipate. They might be flooded initially at first, but then they start to fade as you pay attention to just breathing. And in this quiet, still space, just listen to my voice and finish these statements. I want, I need, I desire. Just breathe. Try not to let your mind do the thinking. Just let what comes first in your gut be your truth. I want, I need, I desire. I want, I need, I desire. Take just a few more rounds on your own, just enjoying this inner language, this insight that comes. And then try repeating and finishing this. It doesn't interest me if I ever have. What I really want is. It doesn't interest me if I ever have. What I really want is. And just listen. Start to bring the knees into the chest. Just feeling that sensation along the upper back as the spine rounds just a little bit. You might tuck your chin. And on your next inhale, lengthen the body. Toes point long on the mat, arms reach overhead. It's a full breath in, a good morning stretch. And when you exhale, sweep your arms back around, draw your knees in, squeeze, tuck your chin. Try that again. Inhale, reach long, fingertips to toes. Keep breathing, keep breathing. And then exhale, circle the arms around, grab the knees and pull in as you round the spine, tuck the chin. And try that again. Find length, breathe. Exhale, draw back in. And two more like that. Find length, breathing, expanding. So nice. Draw back in, tuck your chin. Take the longest breath you can imagine as you lengthen the body. And then round in, pull in, tight, squeeze, stay right there. Now begin to just rock and roll front to back. It doesn't have to be big, we're just bringing some blood flow into the spine. Just rock back and forth, front to back, front to back. And maybe start to get a little bigger swing, a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger. And then finally we go all the way up to a seat. Find an easy cross-legged position. Hands are going to rest on your kneecaps. We're going to start at the base of the body, those sitting bones. Kind of wiggle your cheeks around. Make sure that you can find those little butt bones. Lengthen your spine. Keep your chin in neutral so it's not jutting forward. It's not tucked in. It's just there. And then maybe a slight, tiny little tuck of the chin draws the back of the neck long. Notice that you just created some space there. Go ahead and close your eyes and we're going to begin to rotate the body. It doesn't matter which direction you begin, but you shift the weight from cheek to cheek. And then as if you're stirring your body within this cylinder, start to bring that energy up just a little bit into the pelvis, into the belly, into the heart, up into the shoulders. Now the chin starts to jut forward and draw in as Even the head is circling. So we have created this tight little cylinder shape of energy, comes from the base of our spine and it moves up all the way up, keep circling, keep circling. And then we feel as though we're kind of activating those energy centers in the body, these meridians of energy that circulate through the chakras. And they'll pause at the top, breathe. And then we're going to unwind that energy, go the opposite direction, and just watch. See if you can find in your mind this idea of maybe a little ball rolling down tracks, circulating around your spine. Maybe it's just color, maybe it's just energy, but we just sort of follow it. And we're going to do that again. We're going to get that energy all the way to the base of our spine and pause. Let's take it back up. Reverse directions. Maybe find that visual that works for you. I like to picture just a cylinder and these almost like railroad tracks that go around my body. And there's this beautiful little ball that I am spinning all the way up, going through my shoulders, through my neck, through my head, all the way up to the top. And I pause. And then I reverse directions and I just watch as that beautiful ball makes its way back down those train tracks that are surrounding my body within this cylinder, going all the way down. This is excellent for brain integration and bringing harmony to the body. We're going to take it one more time. Let it get all the way to the bottom. Pause. And now take it all the way back up. Just watch in your mind this circular motion. This is excellent for physical balance as well as emotional balance. It also can be invigorating, it can be calming, all depending on what your body's needing at any given time. And take it all the way up to the top. Beautiful. And now let it come down, all the way down. Just keep circling. Keep it going. Beautiful. And now get to the bottom. Slow down your circles. Find a long, straight spine. And then start to straighten your arms as you tuck the pelvis under around the spine. Really arching the spine to the back. And now reverse it. Push the heart forward. Excuse me. Lift the nose. So the practice today is going to be a little bit slower, a little bit more introspect as we hold some of these postures a while. And that's that beautiful practice coming back again. Where does your mind go? Can you bring it back? It's so beautiful to be thinking about maybe the mind wandering, maybe anxious thoughts coming in, that you have this tool to reconnect to the now by paying attention to sensation as well as breath. Try that one more time around the spine, tuck the chin, really reach the spine back. Arms are straight and long, getting a nice stretch, the elbow crease through the biceps. And then reverse it. Push the heart forward, elbows draw in. They might even skim your ribs. You feel the heart center pushing forward and up. Beautiful. Now let's just straighten the spine. Take your right hand and lay it down on the mat next to your right hip and your left, and just feel sort of the palms down, almost as though you're pushing down. We're not going to lift up our hips. That is sometimes something that we might work towards. It's just finding that core engagement, but we're just finding long arms here, feeling the shoulders, needing to drip down the back to really press the palms down into the floor. Now take your right arm and reach it up to the sky. Keep the left hand pressing down. So we have this opposing energy here. You'll take a big breath in and then reach up and over. See if you can keep your right cheek firmly rooted into the mat. So we have this length through the right side body. your left elbow might start to bend just slightly. We're not collapsing through the left side. We still want to have a little bit of space there. We're not completely taking the left rib cage into the left hips, but instead just finding spaciousness there. So there's this little pull there. Take a breath in, bring your right hand up, and then with a whole bunch of patience, bring your right hand down. Sort of reconnect both palms, lower your shoulders. Feel that length through your neck. It's so magical. Firmly press the right hand down. This time the left arm goes up first. Find that length and then reach over. And only until you have found that full depth do we begin to bend the right elbow just slightly without collapsing, but just finding that space. Beautiful. Reconnect the left arm up to the sky. Find your breath here and then lower it. Wonderful. Go ahead and roll over your knees and make your way to all fours. Kind of wiggle out anything. Maybe the knees need to straighten and bend a little bit so you can do sort of that long leg push back like a little runner getting ready to take off, but eventually make your way into all fours. And now the fingers are forward. Go ahead and turn your fingers to the outer edge of the mat and just feel how that changes the sensation in the shoulder joint. Maybe rock side to side just a little bit. So we're just playing with sensation here. Sometimes we get so caught up in needing to get to the next thing or getting on with it that we forget we have these beautiful opportunities just to feel and then apply that to life, right? How many times are you running through the grocery store thinking about the next thing that you need to get before you forget what you're there for? That we don't even take in the sensory experience of shopping, all of the colors and the textures and the smells. And maybe we see somebody and we're like, I don't have time to talk to them. So you go down a different aisle. Why? Why are we in such a hurry? Beautiful lessons. All right, bring your fingertips in towards the center line of your mat. And again, rock just a little bit. Just feel that. Beautiful. Now the last rotation is we're going to actually bring our fingers towards our knees. And you should feel a big stretch through the carpal tunnel, that front part of the wrist as it's reaching towards the front edge of your mat. It should feel kind of nice. You might rock again. Shifting the weight, right side, left side. Fantastic. Now go ahead and bring your hands back to the normal tabletop position. Fingers are forward. Engage the thumb, that little fatty tissue between the index finger and the thumb. See if you can press that into the mat. Beautiful. Now extend your right arm forward off the mat, shoulder height, with the thumb up like you're shaking my hand. Keep your eyes down. Helps protect the neck. Now lift your left leg back. So we're on opposite ends, right? So we're on our left hand and our right knee. That's what's stabilizing us. So see if you can find that center line of your body. Center line of your mat is just connected. So we have this imaginary line on our mat, imaginary line in our body, and they are one. Beautiful. Take a big breath in here. When you exhale, draw your right elbow in towards your left knee, curl in, round your spine. Maybe they touch, maybe they don't, it's no big deal. And then on your inhale, re-lengthen everything. Remember we did this on the mat on our back. Pull in, exhale, round, go slow. Inhale, lengthen. It's challenging, I know. Pull in. You have one more. Lengthen on your inhale, try not to rush. Draw in on your exhale. Beautiful. Recreate length here and then return everything back to the mat. So reset the hands, reset that fatty part of the thumb and the index finger, maybe shimmy out your head. And let's try that with the other side. Left arm starts. Left thumb is up like you're shaking my hand. Find length. Keep your eyes down. Start to float your right leg up, hip height. You don't need to roll open. It's this like container that we've created. Find the center line of your body, center line of your mat. Take a breath in and then round your spine, elbow to knee. And then inhale, lengthen. Exhale, round. Keep going. Beautiful. Take one more. Now find length on your inhale and return everything to the mat. Reset. Just going to keep coming back to this idea of movement and reset. Length and reset. Trying to stay in the present and listen. Go ahead and tuck your toes. Find the upside down V shape that we know as downward facing dog. And then see what would happen if you took your feet off the mat to the edges, the width of your mat, maybe even off the width. And now what would happen if you pressed back into the heels, straightened your legs, tuck your chin? I find this wide version of down dog to be especially comforting, especially wonderful. You might not like it. That's okay. Go ahead and find the down dog that your body likes. Now we're going to come backwards today. So the hands are going to walk back to the feet. And once they get there, start to sway the body side to side, maybe even wrapping the arms around the legs side to side. That's a crossing of the midline today. It's wonderful for balance, wonderful for harmony. It's just so good. And then come back to center. Come up halfway. Maybe lift your chin. Feel that? And now lay your body over your legs. Roll up halfway, look forward, lift your chin. Do you feel that space? And then lay your body over your legs. Beautiful. Do that one more time. Sort of like you're rolling through your breath. And now walk your feet in so that they're pretty close. They might even be touching. Sometimes the big toe touching is nice. We're going to find that position that maybe I'm the only one that doesn't like it, but it's a great teacher. Start to bend your knees just a little bit as if there's a chair behind your bum that you don't want to sit on, but you do want to sit on it. And we're going to start with our hands at our heart center. So palm to palm. It's a little bit easier. We're going to grow this pose. And then I want you to look down at your toes and make sure that the toes are lifting off the mat, which forces us to be more in the heels. And then sometimes we like to flare our tailbone sort of up and back. See if instead if you can take the tailbone under you. Yeah, just so we create that space in the back. We don't want to take our low back vertebrae and just crunch them. That's never good. Beautiful. And now find your breath here. Remember we started on our back just listening to our breath. It's much harder to do when we're in a position that's uncomfortable. But that's life. Life is uncomfortable. Can we stay? So we're going to give our mind something to distract us while we stay in this beautiful chair pose. Finish this. I want. I need. I desire. It doesn't interest me if I ever have. What I really want is. Take a breath. Straighten your legs, rise up to stand and close your eyes. You can always have your eyes closed for the majority of the practice. It's a beautiful way to kind of shut out the outer world and go inner world focus. So if they're open, go ahead and shut them here. We're going to take our arms high to the sky. Turn your palms towards each other, like spiral the pinkies inward. Notice how that just elevated your heart just a micro inch. It's beautiful. And then we're just going to reach over to the right, just making that C shape with our spine. Keep the arms just like they were. So not widening them anymore. If you practiced with the strap a few weeks ago, you notice we worked on Keeping the arms in alignment, come back to center. And then up and over to the left you go. Come back to center. Hands to heart center, bend your knees, have a seat in that chair again. Maybe this time you go a little bit lower. So set up the body. Sink into the heels, lift the toes, tuck the tailbone under. Beautiful. I want. I need. I desire. It doesn't interest me if I ever have. What I really want is. Beautiful. Rise all the way up. Hands at heart center. Close. The eyes. Beautiful. Arms go high, palms separate. Maybe on your next inhale, you lift your nose, and on your exhale, we reach over to the right. On our inhale, we come back. On our exhale, we reach left. And then we come back, palms seal together, and we come back to the chair pose. We're gonna add on here. So set your body up. Heels, get the weight, the toes lift, tailbone goes under, spine is long. Keep your hands at your heart center. Take a breath in. And when you exhale, we're going to turn to the right. And then maybe your left elbow is on the outside of the right thigh. Maybe it's not. It's okay. But as you get into this twist, peek down and make sure that your knees are still in a straight line. The left one wants to jut forward. And so we pull it back. Maybe that means that we don't go as deep in the twist, but remember, this is about our integrity. It's about telling the truth of our bodies, not trying to go somewhere just for the sake of going and losing our truth, losing our integrity. Nice, come back to center. Let's take it to the left side. Your right elbow might go to the outside of your left leg. Peek down at your knees, make sure they're in a line. Maybe drop your tailbone just an inch. Fantastic. Come back to center. Settle on your exhale. And on your inhale, stand tall. We're going to add on. Arms are going to go high. And then we're going to reach over to the right, just that little beautiful C shape again. Come back to center. Give a little bit of flow here in between holding postures. Come back. And now keep your arms high and have that same shape of your body in the lower half, your knees bent. Sink into the heels. Slight tuck of the chin. Your eyes are looking about 3 feet in front of your mat or at the top edge of your mat, maybe, since we're at the back. Beautiful. I want. I need. I desire. It doesn't interest me if I ever have. What I really want is take a breath in. We're going to open our arms. Right hand goes behind, left hand goes in front. We're twisting to the right. Same twist, but without that bind of the elbow. Instead, the arms are shoulder height and long. Remember that long sensation we had on the mat? Beautiful. Now sweep your right arm down. Maybe it skims your right thigh and you come back to the chair pose. Let's open to the left. Bring your left arm back. Maybe turn the head. Feel that space. Left arm drops, maybe skims the left leg. We come back. And now take a forward fold. We're going to play with that in a flow, but let's settle first. Let's put that all together. Take a halfway lift just to reset. And then a forward fold. Have a seat in the chair, palms at your heart. Lift your toes, drop into your heels, exhale. When you inhale, reach up, rise up, beautiful. Separate the hands and just hinge over to the right. Come back to center, hinge over to the left. Come back to center, seal the palms together, have a seat in that chair. Take a breath in, and when you exhale, twist to the right. Beautiful, peek at your knees. Inhale back to center. Exhale, turn left, squeeze. Inhale back to center. Exhale, drop an inch. Beautiful, drive your body up. Inhale, separate your hands. Exhale, hinge over to the right. Feel the side body. Come back to center. Over to the left. Come back to center. You'll take a breath. Have a seat in the chair. Exhale. Beautiful. Take a breath in. Open twist to the right. Sweep the right arm back. Inhale back to chair. Arm sweeps down and up. Exhale left. Inhale, left arm drops, then rises. We settle in the chair on the exhale. Inhale, rise tall. And then exhale, bring your hands down by your side. Move and settle, lengthen and settle. So just feel that. A little bit of challenge, those uncomfortable twists, the heat in the thighs. What do you do with that? What do you do with that? Do your thoughts go to dread, to negativity? Can you stay with it? Can you give your mind a place to go? Can you dare to dream of meeting your heart's longing? Can you ask yourself those questions and truly listen? Let's take the arms up high. And then a deep forward fold. Your hands are going to walk forward until you find yourself in a push-up position. And it can be your knees or your toes, but I would challenge you, if you're always dropping to your knees, ask yourself why. Maybe it's legitimate. Maybe you can't do your toes. But if it's out of habit, see if you can change it just for a couple breaths. Stay in this push-up position. Take your eyes forward just past to the edge of your mat. This helps the neck. Feel the body's response to this. It's easy when we're laying in a comfortable position on our back to just be. But it's much harder when we're challenged. We want to get out of here. We want to run. We want to move on. And so much so off the mat. Take a breath in. Beautiful. Hinge back to downward facing dog. On your next inhale, take your right hand or your right leg up to the sky, not your right hand. That'd be really hard. Right leg goes up. And then bring it forward between your hands. Spin your back foot down. And we're going to circle our body up to warrior two. So that looks like long arms going lengthwise down your mat. You're looking at your right hand. Your right knee is bent greatly, but the left foot is firmly sealed onto the mat at a diagonal. And pay attention to making sure that you're pushing on the outer edge of the left foot, not collapsing through the arch side, but really engaging through the outer side. Beautiful. We're just going to hold here. Eyes go to your right hand. Maybe they close, but just feel your body here. What is speaking to you? And flip your right hand and take your right hand up to the sky. We call it reverse warrior or peaceful warrior. It can be a nice side body stretch. We're going to keep the legs just like they are. We're going to reverse the arms. Bring your right forearm to your right thigh. And don't drill into it. Remember, we're keeping that space like we did in that Seated side body stretch. We're not collapsing through the right side. We're just resting the right forearm there, not drilling it into the thigh. And bring your left arm up. And then see if both hips can drop just a little bit. Yeah, feel that. Now take your left arm and reach it towards the top of your mat. Your bicep will be by your ear. So we've closed that gap from the left arm being up to the sky. It's now against the side of the head. So your right leg might be speaking to you. It might be saying something to you. Well, let's see if it can speak a little louder. Take your right arm off of your right leg and start to reach your right arm forward, palm up, just like you're holding something. You might visualize that there's a big beach ball between your palms, or relying on our lower body and our side body to hold this. I want, I need, I desire. It doesn't interest me to have. What I really want is breathe, just listen. Beautiful. Now take the arms up, straighten your right leg. Oh, finally, yeah? Tee out your arms again lengthwise. Look at your right hand. We're going to prepare for triangle pose. We're going to play again with that truth of integrity and getting rid of that idea of perfection here, or what we might perceive as perfection when we see these images of this 20-year-old gymnast in the perfect shape. It's not about that. It's not about that. So look at your right hand. And then picture in your mind your pelvis, that bowl shape bone at the base of your spine, kind of locks your legs into place. See if you can take your left hip, the outer hip, and just turn it up towards the ceiling a little bit. And this forces a hip crease on the right side to start to come in. As we're reaching the right hand forward, we're deepening that right hip crease as the left hip starts to reach. Eventually, as we keep doing this, the torso becomes parallel to the floor on the right side body. And now take your right hand and bring it down to your right leg. It does not have to be at the ankle. It doesn't have to be on the floor. It could be the thigh, the knee. And the left arm goes up towards the ceiling. And I want you to picture, we say this a lot in yoga, that there's two sheets of glass on the front and the back side of you. We're most often leaning into the front part of the glass. So a way to remedy that is to tuck your right cheek underneath you and lean back a little bit. There it is. Breathe. It doesn't interest me if I ever have. What I really want is. Turn your eyes to your right toes. Bend your right knee, come back to warrior two. So the torso comes up, arms are lengthwise. And then cartwheel your arms back to the mat, frame your right foot, and find downward facing dog. Find a version that feels good to you. So we ask these questions because then if off the mat, what we really want is peace, then why are we engaging in conflict? Go ahead and roll forward to the push-up and stay there. Challenge yourself to not be in the pattern, the habit of your practice. If what you really want is patience, are you working on it? Are you catching yourself when you're irritated? What are you doing to practice patience? If what you really want is love, are you loving? Those are the questions we explore when we identify what we want, what we need, what we desire. Because if we really dare to dream of meeting our heart's longing, we have to do some of the work. Take a breath in. Find downward facing dog. We're going to take that whole series to the other side. So the left leg is going to lift. It's going to step forward between your feet. Your right foot spins to a diagonal. And we bring our torso up, lengthening our arms lengthwise. Looking at our left hand, bent left knee. And we breathe. Breathe. Flip your left hand. Reverse your warrior. Left hand goes up. Your right hand might just fall down against your right leg. And keep your legs just like they are. Bring your left forearm to your left thigh. Remember to not collapse through the left side body. Keep it long, almost as the ribs are reaching towards that left kneecap. And your right arm goes up first. We find that space. There's a deep bend in the left leg. Now bring your right arm over your head so that the bicep is by the ear. We feel that long, long right side body. Now take your left hand and start to reach it forward, palm up. And so we're relying on the strength of our legs and our side body to hold this. Breathe, breathe through the uncomfortable. Breathe through the challenge. Go back to I want, I need, I desire. It doesn't interest me to have. What I really want is. And just listen, breathe. 2 more breaths. And now let's come up. Straighten the left leg. Bring your arms up. Beautiful. We get a break for the left leg. Now tee out your arms again, lengthwise. Look at your left hand. Remember, we're going to locate the pelvis and start there. It just rocks. Right hip goes up. And this forces that left hip crease to begin to develop. Left toes are forward. And now keep reaching your left hand forward as you deepen that hip crease. Keep going. And now eventually the left hand will find the left leg as the right hand goes up to the ceiling. For me, I like to have my eyes down. Some people like to have their eyes up, maybe to the side. It's preference of your neck. Breathe. And take a peek at your left toes. Bend your left knee. Bring the arms up and find warrior 2. Take a breath in. Cartwheel the arms back to the mat. It'll frame your left foot, and the left foot will step back. And find that plank pose again. I want, I need, I desire. It doesn't interest me if I ever have. What I really want is. Now listen. Go ahead and lower the knees. Bring the hips back to child's pose. See if you can creep your fingers out further in front. Remember that elongated body. Push into the fingertips. This makes the palms lift, the forearms get a nice stretch. We get a beautiful stretch down the arm, into the back of the body. Tuck your chin even more. Feel that. See if your tailbone can reach back even more. Find the space here. Beautiful. And now start to slither the torso forward, and you're going to come to your belly. We're just going to play here just a little bit. So we're on our bellies. And then take your left arm and bend it so that the elbow's to the left and the palm is in the center of your mat and your forehead is resting on your left hand. You're going to bend your right knee with the toes up towards the ceiling. Beautiful. Now bring your right arm back. And with your palm, grab the inside of your right ankle. Okay, so this keeps the shoulder, the elbow, and the wrist open to the right side. Beautiful. Now, we're going to start to lift the head off of the left hand just a little bit. Nice. This is a beautiful, very safe version, sometimes challenging pose. And now to get out of this, we're going to lower the head back to the left hand. And gently, without snapping the right foot, we're going to slowly release the right hand from the right foot and lengthen it again. Just lengthen it on the mat. We're going to switch sides. So bend your right arm and place the forehead on the back of the hand of the right hand. Bend your left knee, toes come up. We reach back with an open arm and grab the inner ankle of the left foot. Shoulder, elbow, wrist open. And now begin to lift the head. And you're somewhat pulling the left leg closer to the glute, just getting a stretch for the quad. Do you feel that? Beautiful. Lower the head. And then without snapping, go ahead and release the left. So we're going to do that 2 more times. That's your first option. You can repeat that. Or you can do both legs at the same time, and we'll do that twice. So if you're alternating, start with the right and then move to the left. And if you want to try both, then stay here with me. Place the forehead on the mat. Bend both knees and reach back and grab your pant legs or your inner ankles. Pant legs work lovely. And now when you inhale, begin to lift the head, lift the heart, and pull gently the legs towards the glutes. This is called bow pose. And so you can see this shape of your spine. We're going to hold here with just a couple breaths, just a couple. So you have half bow on the right side or full bow with both legs. Take one more breath, maybe lift your nose an inch. And then without snapping, release everything, head comes down. We're going to try that one more time. So if you've done one side, you're going to do the left side. If you'd like to try both, go ahead. Reach back, bend the knees, grab the ankles, squeeze the shoulder blades together. It's a beautiful heart opener, by the way, as we continue on this theme of unconditional and connection. Begin to lift. Begin to lift the heart. Breathe. Begin to lift the heart. Take 2 more breaths. And then lower. I'm just going to from here roll onto our back. So just turn over. I know your head's at the front. It's no big deal. Just turn onto your back. And draw the knees in just to release the back. So this month of unconditional, exploring, what does that mean? And I think the invitation is such a beautiful poem of unconditioned. It doesn't interest me what you do for a living. I want to know what you long for. And as I was teaching this concept today to a group of individuals that live across the country, I teach every Monday, and these individuals have disabilities of all types. There's over 50 on the call today. It's pure magic, by the way. Draw the knees in, just feel. When I asked a young man how he would define unconditional, he said with this amazing amount of confidence, "Oh, Unconditional love is not treating others like a transaction. I do this so that you do that. And I thought, how beautiful of a definition is to treat others not like a transaction. Go ahead and lower your feet to the mat. And then bring the right knee back into the belly as you lengthen the left leg. I like to weave my hands into a basket and interlace my hands over my right shin. Left leg is long, right knee is bent. Just feel that. And I think for me, it's like, well, am I conditional with myself? Am I conditional with others? Do I treat myself in ways that are a transaction? If I do this, then I get that. If I do something for a living, does that make me better? Not at all. What do I long for? Am I unconditional? Such a beautiful way to look inward. Take the right knee towards the armpit and just feel that opening through the hip. We're not going to twist today because we did that big back bend with the bow pose. We don't want to get too twisty here. So we're just going to release. And then go ahead and we're going to switch legs. Right leg goes long, left knee comes in. Interlace the fingers over the left shin. Squeeze at the center of your belly first. And then after a couple breaths, go ahead and take the left knee towards the left armpit. Get a release through the hip and into the low back. Beautiful. Release that. Go ahead and bring the soles of the feet to the mat. Knees are up. We're just going to take a little twist here. Just a slight windshield wiper to the left. And then come back to center. Over to the right. Come back to center. Then bring the soles of your feet to touch and let your knees open to the side. Common pose. Start to circle your mind back just to paying attention to your breath. Maybe even putting your hands somewhere on your chest and your belly to feel your body breathing. It doesn't interest me at all what you do for a living. I want to know if you dare to dream of meeting your heart's longing. What is your heart's longing? Can you listen to that inner language that is your truth without thinking too much about it? I want, I need, I desire. And to finish this beautiful practice of introspect, it doesn't interest me if I ever have. What I really want is. And what's so beautiful is that when we start to know these things, then we can fulfill them through our actions, our words, and our thoughts. You can stay as long as you would like in this beautiful place of knowing who you are, inner work, inner beauty, inner grace. And thank you so much for saying yes and for spending time on the mat with me as your guide. I'm always so grateful and so blessed. Take care, and I will see you soon.